Hello, welcome to BikeSocial and welcome to another episode of What Bike Next. This is where motorcycle journalism journeyman Simon Hargreaves and I, Michael Mann, go head to head as we try and find a BikeSocial member their very next bike. And you never know, we could be doing the same for you. We start, as always, by saying a huge thank you to Metzeler and to BikeTrack for helping us make this video. Metzeler, of course, the motorcycle tyre manufacturer who, for 2024, have brought out the Roadtech 02, and BikeTrack offer a tracking facility that will monitor the movements of your pride and joy in real time. You join us here at Superbike Factory, Donington Park, once again, as we try and find BikeSocial member John Reeve his very next bike. But let's meet John.
Hi, I'm John. 39 years old, been riding for about 15 years. I just sold my Tracer 9 GT. Loved that bike, really nice bike. Wife didn't love it so much. So looking for something new. Don't really know what I want. So hopefully Michael and Simon can sort me out. Cheers, guys.
And here he is. John, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thanks so much for letting us be a part of this process. So let's meet you, let's get to know you. How old are you, John? Where are you from? What do you do?
I'm 39. I'm living in Swansea at the moment, and I'm a train driver.
Fantastic.
So what do you ride at the moment? What bike have you got at the moment?
I've just sold my Tracer 9 GT.
Okay, Tracer 9 GT. So why didn't you just keep it? It's the best bike in the world, isn't it?
It has its drawbacks. I feel like it was a bit old, bit of an older bike for me.
Okay.
Still want to relive some youth.
Yeah,
have a bit of silliness, but have the wife on the back at the same time.
Okay.
While doing the silliness, or that's two separate things?
Well,
where do we start? At the beginning, I suppose. So what are you looking for roughly? Give us a rough idea of what you're after.
something 150 plus horsepower.
Okay.
Something not too over the tank, because I am getting older. And the wrists and that. But something I can throw around when she's not on the back, but also spend hours when she is on the back.
Right, so we're talking pillion, 2 up.
Yeah.
We're talking 150 horsepower, something quite sporty, but not a sports bike. So we're talking sports tourists?
Sports tourers, yeah.
Okay, adventure bikey perhaps?
Probably.
Possibly?
It's the styling on the adventure bikes. I prefer the sort of sportier look.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm open to what you can provide.
Right, okay. Is there anything specifically that you don't want, that we shouldn't be looking for?
Cruisers.
Right.
Anything cruiser.
Everyone says that. They say that every time, don't they?
Common theme.
We need some cruiser fans to come in so we can pick some cruisers for a change.
Harley fans.
What about levels of electronics? Have you got any
I love
particular?
gadgets.
Yeah?
Love gadgets. Anything, if it's got laser-guided cruise control, then that's a win.
Brilliant.
So absolutely anything on it.
You must be a Bond fan.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And I suppose the big question is, how much have we got to play with?
About 18.
Wow. 100?
18 grand.
18 grand.
Wow, OK, that's cool.
Super duper.
That's like anything in the shop, really?
You could buy new for that.
Yeah, I don't really know what I want.
Right, OK.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, and that's a challenge for us then, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll find something.
OK, well, we've got enough, surely.
I think so.
Pretty much the entire place is our oyster. Let's crack on, shall we? Do you want to go and have a cup of tea? We'll do some shopping and we'll join in a bit.
Awesome.
Right, let's see if we can find John his next bike. John's going to test ride 3 used bikes we think might suit him best. One chosen by me, one chosen by Simon, and then the mystery bike. This time, it's been selected by Superbike Factory's marketing manager, Lauren Cartwright. Then at the end, we're going to find out which bike John prefers, and hopefully we'll have answered his question, what bike next? John will be testing our 3 bike choices on the What Bike Next East Midlands test route. This hour-long loop takes in the twisty roads of South Derbyshire. That's a mixture of A's and B's in town and out. So there's plenty of riding for John to get a feel for his next bike. Don't know about you, mate, but I think this budget, actually, it's not that as easy as it might first think.
No, we've got the whole shop to choose from. I mean, there's tons of stuff out there. He could literally buy any bike. Should we go and find one?
Tough, innit? Let's go.
first in the showroom, and I found this KTM 1290 Super Duke GT.
Yeah. I was going to have a look at that one. Is it any good?
Hey, no, I was here first, mate.
What's
I was
it
here.
like?
This is mine. Keep your hands off.
Well, how about this for John? I've got Triumph's Tiger 1200 Rally Explorer here. It's 2 years old. It was 19 grand or thereabouts when it was brand new. This is 13 and a half. It's got all the toys, all the rider aids. It's got 148 brake horsepower. It's got great road presence. I think Mrs. John will be happy on the back here. But he specifically talked about adventure bikes and he didn't particularly like the styling, so I think I might have to leave this one behind.
So John likes his horsepower, he likes his gadgets, and he wants something for his partner to sit on the back. They don't get any more horsepower with more gadgets, with more comfort for a pillion than BMW's K1600. We're looking at about 158 horsepower. I mean, this thing's even got a radio, so he's going to love this. Plus, great for his pillion. Plus, it's £14,890, so it's actually using some of his budget. I don't know, is it too big? Is it too toury? Does he want to be a bit sportier? I'm going to keep looking. OK then, John. I'm going to go first. Shall we have a look at my bike? My choice for you.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, you ready? Give us a hand.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Now,
this was a red herring.
Yes. Now, there are some good things and some bad things. So the first thing is obviously we have a 2017 MT10 SP with the Olin suspension, semi-active.
Cool.
Good spec, 160 horsepower. You know, I'm sure you know the spec already. Cross-plane crank engine.
Yeah.
Have you ridden a cross-plane crank?
No.
OK, it's like a V4. It's going to sound awesome. It's going to feel awesome. They're amazing things. Really addictive. But specifically for you, we've got some things that you asked for and some things that you haven't. So we haven't got heated grips, but we have got some pillion capacity because you did talk about touring.
Yep.
You talked about taking your partner on the back. We've got the top
Top
box.
Yep.
The big issue is that it's way under budget.
Oh.
Way under budget.
There's a shame.
So we're talking, I think it's about £9,860 it's up for.
OK, I'll get two of them.
So you could get two. Yeah. I mean, you could get two bikes, but we've only got the one here. So what do you think?
It's beautiful. Love the blue wheels. I had that on my GSXS 750.
It has some blue in it. That was one
Love
of your
the blue
requirements.
wheels. It's a beautiful bike. I have admired this for a while, but never really thought of it as an option.
OK.
But excited to ride it.
Yeah. Well, it's a Yamaha, so you're familiar with the sort of the CP3, CP4
Yes.
thing. So there's a certain family resemblance, I think. Right, good. Should we go for a ride then? Let's get
do
out
it.
and do it.
Let's do it.
Right, let's see if John likes that Yamaha. Or is it a bit too familiar?
John, let's see. You want 150 horsepower plus, something upright but sporty. You love gadgets and you've got 18 grand to splurge. But as Michael pointed out, you could buy a new bike for that kind of dosh, and I'm starting to think you're just here for the test rides, you cheeky monkey. Let's see if a minty, nearly new Yamaha MT10 SP can convince you to shave a whopping 8 grand off your bike buying budget. And mate, this bike fits you, I can already tell. Having already experienced that loopy triple, why not simply add a cylinder, another 50 horsepower, chuck in that deliriously addictive cross-plane crank inline-4 that thinks, feels and sounds like a V4, and a top box for some token touring. Et voila! A sporty, not a sports bike you can chuck around, stick your partner on the back, stick your sandwiches in the top box and take your brain out when you're flying solo at the weekend. Because unleashed, this bike is a proper riot on wheels. Tap the throttle and it comes out absolutely windmilling. So, as a train driver, I reckon the fact it handles like it's on rails might convince you.
OK, John, we've just come back from the mighty MT10.
Yep.
I don't know if you, I think it's BSB testing in the background there. I don't think we were riding that hard, were we? That's not us.
Not quite.
So, just off camera, when we unveiled the bike, You took a photo and
Yep.
sent it to your missus because you said she's going to love this.
Yeah, yeah.
How do we find the ride? Was it thumbs up or thumbs down?
Massive thumbs up. Comfortable, loads of grunt, good in the corners. Love it.
It's still in the
Well,
mix.
hang on
Still
a
in the
minute.
mix.
Don't get too excited. We've still got 2 more bikes, yeah? Do you want to come and see what I've got lined up?
Let's do it.
Bike 2, come on. But what if John wants a bit more weather protection? Onto bike number 2. All right, John, time for bike number 2, and this is clearly the winner. So, do you want to see what's under the cover?
I would love
Well, a bit
to
rubbish
see.
if you said no, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Come on then, come on, help me out.
Oh, hello.
There we go.
Multistrada.
Ducati's Multistrada 1260 Enduro.
Nice.
Now, there's a lot to talk about here, so I've got my cheat sheet with me as well. Price on this, 12,290.
Okay.
So pretty attractive. In terms of attractive, it's got that fairing, it's got that sort of sporty sleekiness.
Yep.
You've got your adjustable screen, one-handed, 158 brake horsepower.
Nice.
It's got loads of gadgets. It's got the V-twin, it's got the Testa-Stretto engine, it's got the variable valve timing, of course.
Cool.
It's a 2019 model, but it's got loads of gadgets as well. It's got heated grips. It's got 860mm seat height, 30-litre tank, so you get 300 miles out of that.
Nice.
But it's got all sorts of gubbins on it as well. Look, it's got electronic suspension, so semi-active.
Okay.
You've got cornering ABS. You've got engine brake. I had to write it all down because I couldn't remember it all. Wheelie control, bizarrely.
Who needs
Yeah,
that?
heated grips, keyless ignition, quick shifter, Bluetooth, massive brakes, all the gear.
Nice.
What do you reckon?
It's a nice bike.
I
Very
know you
nice
said
bike.
sort of, you didn't say no adventure bike. You sort of steered away from adventure bikes originally, but I think that it's
The styling of this is nice.
it's pretty cool,
nice.
isn't it? And it's got, like I said, it's got 158 brake horsepower, so it's got all that,
Yeah.
and that's all at the bottom end and bottom end torque, mid-range grunt, just over 12 grand, which leaves plenty of budget for something else. Hold on, stay there. What about if I introduced you to something for the track or something for the B roads that's a little bit more dainty? A Street 77765.
My wife could ride that as well.
Perfect. What a solution. You could have 2 for the price of 1. This is 7 grand, just under 3,000 miles on that.
You're pushing it now and you're trying to win.
You gave us the challenge of what bike next, and I'm showing you which bike's next.
Nice,
almost.
like it.
So 2 for the price of 1.
I'm a big Triumph fan.
So first things first, how about we focus on the Ducati? We'll take
Yep.
that out for a ride.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. John's about to break his Ducati virginity, but will he get on with the twin? Talk about value for money. Just look at the amount of motorcycle John could walk away with if he opened his options up. With his criteria, it was always going to be tough to find one machine that does everything he'd like, but I get a feeling as though he'd be open to some ideas if 2 bikes were on the card. So, with this awesome Multistrada and its huge range of electronics, impressive comfort, not to mention that 160 horsepower, he could easily transverse the planet, as well as doing all the pillion rides and long weekend jaunts with friends that he's mentioned. But if he picked up a track-focused Street Triple, ZX6 or CBR 600, for example, for around 6 grand, he could have the perfect duo for all his needs. John, it looked like that Ducati fitted you perfectly, or you fitted it. What's your first reaction?
It's definitely put a spanner in the works.
Ooh.
100%.
That's a good thing, right?
I enjoyed it,
Yeah?
put it that way.
Excellent. Well, we'll find out a little bit more about it later. How about that, Simon?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Should we go and find out what the mystery bike is?
Let's do
Can't
it.
wait to see.
Right, bike number 3 is the mystery bike. And it's time for Superbike Factory's marketing manager, Lauren Cartwright, to do the business. Let's see what Lauren has to say about her choice.
So I'm Lauren, I'm the retail marketing manager here at Superbike Factory. So I've been here for 7 months now. Absolutely love the job. There's a lot of variety with it. So I do everything from social, web, email, so it's my responsibility to look after all the marketing activities across those platforms. The bike I've chosen for John, I believe, ticks all the boxes. So it's a sports tourer. It offers the capabilities of riding with two up, so it's a fantastic pillion seat. It also has great luggage. It also comes with creature comforts like cruise control and heated grips that he asked for. But it might be a bit too small for him, so we'll see. But it's got an excellent engine and it'll be brilliant on track as well.
OK, John, let's have a look at bike number 3, the mystery bike. We don't know what this is, so let's get in.
Excited to see.
Don't worry, we'll do all the work.
You do it, you do it, you do it.
I thought it was an SX when I first saw this. Is that was not?
Oh, it's the H2. So that's got the
H2
supercharged.
Oh, nice.
Mate, they're the best part of 200 brake horse.
I was going to say, that meets your 150 horsepower
Just a
requirement,
little
doesn't
bit, yeah.
it? Crafty choice.
Wow.
Cheat sheet. All touring. Well, obviously, 'cause it's got the panniers.
Yeah.
£10,090. 2 previous owner. Oh, it's less than 7,000 miles.
Yeah.
6 years old. Yeah, 197 brake.
Wow.
Look at that. Oh, it's got launch control. That's quite handy.
Got a centre stand on it.
So have you thought about one of these?
Not really.
Okay.
The supercharger has sort of piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Really?
Quite
Just
rightly.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Rightly too. But I mean, it's got everything you want. It's ticking all the boxes, really, isn't
100%.
it?
Heated grips.
I think my wife will like that
Cruise
seat.
grips, it's got panniers, pillion friendly. It's quite, reasonably rapid.
Little nippy.
You're a little nippy, yeah. Should we go for a ride?
Let's.
Okay, what are you riding then? Because I'm taking this.
Where's your bike?
Let's go.
It's time for John to ride bike number 3, but is that supercharged sports bike going to be a little too risky for him? If John needs to get from A to B in a seriously quick time, then he could always drive his train or take the supercharged Kawasaki. With 197 horsepower available, plus a pair of panniers, there's little, if anything else, on the market that matches the madness of the H2SX. Of course, its stablemate, the ZZR 1400 perhaps, but that didn't come with launch control and heated grips. So this is a 2018 model, which was the first year Kawasaki strapped the supercharger to a sports tourer, after the rebirth of the H2 3 years earlier. This particular model's relatively low miles and potentially sub 10 grand price tag gives it some real pros, but a short seat to foot distance could hinder John's comfort, while he'd expect an adjustable screen and a more modern dash with this kind of budget. John, did you get addicted to the chirruping of the Kawasaki?
I did.
Did you?
I did. It was a noise that you don't get used to, but you don't get fed up on.
Yeah, quite a spirited little ride, that, wasn't it?
No comment?
Good, good, excellent.
You got all the way to 69 miles an hour, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, hey.
Top line, in contention still? We're still undecided? We've still got some thinking to do?
I think we need to have a chat, and it's definitely a contender.
Right, well, shall we go and have a chat then? Shall we go and sit down, have another cup of tea?
It's a fair idea.
Excellent stuff.
Come
Let's
on.
do it.
Right then, sir, we have had time, or you have had time to deliberate, hopefully. You're very poker-faced. I think I don't want to play you at cards. You are keeping your cards close to your chest.
I can't tell what he prefers.
No.
I've been riding in front of him, yeah.
Good, all about the jeopardy. We've got the keys to all 3 bikes and envelopes in front of you. No expense spared with them, clearly. On the reverse of each of those envelopes is a mystery prize. Well, it's not mystery, because one of them's a £100 voucher to use in the Superbike Factory accessory shop. Cool. One of them is hospitality tickets to a Bennett's BSB round of your choice, and the other one is a free set of Metzeler tyres. Thanks, Metzeler. So, if you were to choose any of them, flip over the envelope, the prize is yours. Now, this section is all about us trying to extract as much information out of you, or you telling us what's good and bad about each bike. What do you prefer? How have we found your next bike?
So shall we start off with the Yamaha?
Yeah, bike number 1, please.
Okay.
The MT10 SP.
Lots to love about that bike. Handling.
Was it familiar?
It did feel familiar. Bit more wind. I think if I was getting a long term, that would be an issue.
So you're talking about getting a little bikini fairing or something just to keep the wind off?
Maybe it would need a screen.
Yeah.
But that would be the one my wife would love out of the three of them.
Yeah.
Blue wheels.
Yeah.
Wins every day with her.
You texted her the picture of the bike. Did she reply?
My phone died, so I don't know. But I'm sure she'll have some things to say about it.
Okay.
Lots to love about that bike.
Is that quite, well, you talked about that at the very beginning about your wife riding pillion. That's quite an important factor in your decision.
It is, yeah. 90% of my riding, she's on the back, unless I'm riding to work.
Oh,
So
okay. Right.
socially, she's always on the back.
She's always on the back of the bike.
I do
right.
most of my miles with her on the back.
Okay. So NT10 engine.
Amazing.
Yep.
Grunty,
Cross-plane
fast,
crank.
pulls,
Good sound.
beautiful, beautiful sound. Probably the best of the
Yeah.
three.
How do you go on comfort-wise? Do you fit it all right?
I did think it was going to be a bit small when I first saw it. I'm 6'2", so, but it didn't feel too small when I was riding it. Size-wise, it's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The test ride that we did, it was kind of for the traffic. That was the worst test ride.
Yes.
I felt in my head that I've kind of felt for you because I thought, oh, that's going to exaggerate the throttle response issue that maybe the MT10 has. It's a bit snatchy. Were you okay with that?
When we were following the traffic, it was a little bit sort of hard to sort of judge,
Yeah.
sort of hold it in a set position. But once we opened it up, you can tell that that's not what it likes. It likes going.
It does like going, yeah. It's almost like the Yamaha deliberately engineered that throttle response to be a little bit glitchy at part throttle so that you do ride it with
Yeah,
the throttle
just
open.
open it a little bit more.
They're naughty like that. And the handling of the bike, you know, the general vibe of the
Handling
thing?
was brilliant, very similar to the Tracer, which
Yeah.
I've always thought was a good handling bike. A little bit lighter, I think, slightly lower, so sort of felt a bit more like I get sort of knee down in the corners. And
Yeah.
I felt at home on it, did feel comfortable,
Okay. And it's hugely under budget as well.
massively, massively.
That's like, I haven't heard anything bad yet. It's all positive.
Well, you talked about track days, didn't you? And I know that I ended up with offering you something else as well as a
Yes.
Ducati. But
Yeah.
that presumably is an option for you, is it?
That would probably be an option for me, something to look at, definitely.
Right.
Because the MT, I think, is more of a street bike than... There's too much wind blast. As soon as you're at the speed limit,
Yeah.
you feel it in your chest.
All right then. So that sounds fairly positive.
Yeah, is there anything else other than wind blasts that you don't like about it that is kind of holding you back?
Not really.
No?
It's very similar to a bike I've had previous where my wife enjoyed more than the Tracer to be on the back of, and it had a smaller seat.
Cool. So that sounds okay. So what about the Ducati?
What about the Ducati?
I've never ridden a Ducati before. First time riding a Ducati. Loved it.
Yeah?
Loved it. I don't think it should be called an adventure bike. It should be called a tall sports bike.
Got all the go, hasn't it?
Just felt planted. Every corner on the dust. Didn't falter. Absolutely beautiful bike.
So road handling's good, performance is good, comfort-wise good.
It was comfortable.
Part of the reason why I chose it was because of your size as well. I thought you'd fit that kind of thing. You'd be able to handle that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think
Physically, you know?
maybe the seat was a little low.
Right.
So I don't know if you can get sort of seat risers on it or...
So this is the Enduro version. So I think the seat height is fixed on the Enduro, as I remember, the 1260.
Okay.
So you can get, like you say, maybe a deeper seat for it. Or,
Yeah, it's fixed at 860. They do an 840 or an 880.
Yeah, maybe the 880 would be better for me.
well, that's interesting. Because, I mean, technically, the Enduro is kind of the adventure bike version of the Multistrada. It's not even the road-based version. So, I mean, you know, maybe a Multistrada 1260 is, you know, the actual kind of the S would be the one you should try.
Or even the V4S, thinking about the newer bikes.
Anything but the bike that Michael picked, basically.
Yeah. Well, the V4 is something I like to have a little look at.
Yeah.
Just the sound of them.
Yeah.
They're something else.
What can I say? We both agree.
Yeah, honestly, if it was my money on the table, that was the bike I'd have. But I know I'm a little bit biased with that. But go on, is there anything other than sort of the seat height which is easily overcomeable?
Vibration, it was very vibration. There was a lot through the handlebars, through the pegs.
That's all about the twin, though, isn't it?
That's kind of traditionally you say that's the good vibration. That's the good vibes. That's not the bad vibes because it doesn't annoy you, but it's the charismatic stuff.
When we first went out, it was in sports mode, and I felt it was a lot of vibration. I changed it to tour mode, and it wasn't as bad.
Okay.
It was still there, but maybe longer journeys that would bug me. Start to get numb feet,
It's not known for it. I mean, I must admit, Ducatis that vibration tends to stay kind of lumpy rather than high-pitched enough to start deadening fingers, I think.
You talked earlier on again about what was appealing for you, or what appealed to you for the bike you're looking for is the amount of gadgets that are on it, the electronics, the rider aids, and that's got plenty, hasn't it?
It's got everything on it.
I suppose you didn't have a chance, did you, on your test ride to try any?
I had a little play with the modes and stuff like that, but I was just concentrating on not dropping it.
There's a lot of bike there to get used to, and I think it's complex in a good way.
Let's say we were concentrating so hard on doing 69 miles an hour.
Perfect. I'm good. I'm glad.
That's why it was vibrating, I think.
Good. Okay, so
Mystery bike.
mystery bike.
What about that supercharger, eh?
That is something else. That is something else. Wow.
It's a bit special, isn't it?
Yeah, first time opening the throttle, that puts you back in the seat. I had literally physically had to sit back
Yeah.
to stop myself from sort of going backwards, but
Yeah.
what a machine. What a machine.
Is it something you could live with?
No.
No.
Wrists were hurting after 20 minutes.
So it's too sporty.
So it's too much on the wrists. The seat between my I got long legs, so my knees were up slightly. Loved the bike, but not as a long-term thing for me. Couldn't ride for more than an hour without wanting to get off and cut my hands off.
Yeah, you don't want that.
What you want is that engine in a kind of like a Versys chassis almost, where you kind of. It's the one thing they didn't do. You know, they kind of did the sports version, if you like, the H2R and that whatever, and they did the sports touring version with the SX and
the naked,
and they did the naked version. And it's like they just missed that one trick. If they'd stuck that in something,
Yeah, but could you live a bit for a supercharger?
I could put up with a lot for that engine.
I'd be interested to hear what your wife said after a test ride on that.
Would she still be there?
Yeah, she'd be gone. Okay, so in last place then is probably the
H2, I'd say, unfortunately.
yeah. Okay,
But just because of rider position, nothing else. Engine, it wins.
right.
But
So it's down to the Ducati and the Yamaha.
Are either of those two a realistic option for you right now?
there is one bike that didn't come up today
Ooh.
that I'm interested in testing.
Okay.
Okay.
Brand new or second hand?
I'd probably go brand new with it. I was kind of expecting you to pull out an S1000 XR, and there's an M version just come out,
Very much so, yes.
and that would be something I'd be very interested in.
Yeah. That's got the performance.
It has.
Tick every
Don't think
box.
it comes with pillion pegs. Could
No,
be
it
wrong.
doesn't. You're right. The M doesn't.
Oh dear. No M. Oh what? Oh, I saw that look then.
Mrs. John will
She's
be
not going to
impressed.
be happy.
But the XR,
Yeah.
the standard XR, I mean, it's got
Yeah.
160 plus, 170 horsepower.
Yeah. I mean, for the money that you're talking, you could put an awful lot of extras on an XR and get some serious touring chops and some serious performance bling out of it.
That's the only reason I'm not picking up that Yamaha envelope right now.
Right. Okay.
The Yamaha beats the Ducati.
Yamaha beats.
Does it? Oh, I'm surprised.
It
No,
does.
I'm surprised.
I did love both.
It's not a win, is it?
Yeah, that is. Well, I'll take it. I'll take anything.
Half a point.
Beating you, Michael. Beating you is a win. Okay.
Yeah, so for me, probably the Yamaha. It's just something about it.
Is there anything else that you've got your eye on or had your eye on? Presumably now, the V4 Multistrada's on the list, is it?
Yeah, the V4, definitely, especially after riding that one. It wasn't on the list, but now it's definitely something I'd look at.
Anything else?
Maybe a Suzuki GX. I have ridden one. Maybe a more extensive test ride. That's quite a nice bike.
Yeah. I was wondering about the Z1000 SX, potentially.
Yeah, but again, it's that running position by the sounds of it. It's kind of fairly similar. I mean, I thought it was a Z1000 SX when we pulled the covers off the H2 because it's kind of like, oh,
They are
similar
similar.
panniers. So similar sort of riding position, maybe not quite suitable.
Well, I've ridden the Suzuki GT,
Yeah.
and that would be similar to the SX, and that was a little bit hard on the wrists. Lovely bike.
Bit hard on the wrist. It's even actually high because it's flat bars, I think, isn't it, on the GT?
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
still clip-ons, I think, on the SX. So you're still, it's a little bit lower. Something that interests me is that you've got the budget to go new, but used bikes are an option for you. Just interested in the sort of the thought process and the pros and cons of buying a new bike versus a used bike.
It's just a case of not really knowing what I want
Right. Okay.
and trying everything on for size, whether it's new or old. If it fits me, it fits me.
Oh,
You know what
that's
I mean?
cool.
So
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are sort of the traditional things that if you buy a used bike or a nearly new bike, you've taken, you're not taking the depreciation hit,
yeah,
so you're getting something that's barely run in for
And you're not gonna
significantly
lose much
less.
money on it.
No, I didn't know whether that was a factor in your thinking or whether you're just like, no, I don't really care. I'm just going to pick the bike that works for me.
yeah, that's that's it.
Fair play.
Yeah, it's all about the bike.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. Thanks, John,
Yeah.
for letting us be a part of the process. Let us know what you end up with, won't you? And
Will do.
If you've made a decision before this goes out, we'll make sure it's on at the end of the show
Okay.
to let everyone know. But appreciate your time. Thanks very much for coming
Thank you
along.
very much.
Cheers.
Nice to meet you both.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.
There we have it for another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully John's taken, what we've said on board. I think I'm fairly pleased with the options that we gave him. Certainly he's gone away deliberating. Maybe he's going to have a go on that BMW. Maybe he's going to have a look at the Multistrada V4. Rest assured that if he gets in touch with us and tells us what he chooses before this goes out, we'll let you know on the voiceover or in the comments below. Speaking of which, if you've got any ideas for what John should have ridden, might have chosen, should be looking at, again, let us know. There's bound to be things that we've missed. Of course, John, we've already talked about it already. He could go new, he could go second-hand. The options are varied. And because his criteria was quite wide in terms of what he wanted with his wife as a pillion, riding in the countryside, doing the B-roads, doing the commutes, doing a track day, it was always going to be a tricky choice to find one bike that's doing it all. Thanks also to Metzler Tyres and to Bike Track for helping us out with this episode. Without you, it would not be possible. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments below about the bikes, or if you want to get in touch with us to be a part of this process, if you want us to help you find your next bike, then the email address is enquiries@bikesocial.co.uk. And of course, you have to be a BikeSocial member. BikeSocial membership is free with Bennett's Insurance. And you get access to over 160 different discounts, benefits, competition, VIP stuff with BSB especially. And you can buy into BikeSocial membership if you're not a Bennett's customer at £6 a month or at £60 a year. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to be a part of our Facebook group as well, Bennett's Bike Social on Facebook. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. I can tell you that just 3 days after filming this episode, John test rode a Ducati Multistrada V4 and a BMW M1000 XR. But he bought the BMW and is expecting delivery any day. Safe riding, John.
And then make a choice. Let us know, won't you? Cool.
What bike next? Do you love it? Ah. Star of the show. Go on, everyone loves a dog. Can interview him. Cool.
Is that okay?
That was all right. Have we milled enough?
It's like this all day. John.
Stopping and starting.
John, they do this all day. It's like this whole kind of thing.
Red, red wine. I saw someone balance it on their shoe the other day, like that.
Did you say one more?
Michael's turn
Who's
to
that
talk
girl?
first.
Anyway, so we can, we will try and find the very next bike for BikeSocial member John Reeve. Let's amateurs.